Hello, hello. Can you all hear me? How are we doing today? Man, this one is a doozy. Someone called Jelk Jones has been banging fork and knife on the table saying we want incest in the chat, so that's always fun. Alright guys, we are going to kick it up a notch with today's Stream Tea and Incest! Hello! Oh, look at this beautiful, wonderful frame. It's working, finally. I'm so happy. I'm such a happy boy. Welcome, all, to week 2 of Stream Tea and Incest. The first one last week, Eddie and Jeffrey went to Russia to fend off the revolutionary hordes. And this week, we see them hop over the Irish Sea to Ireland, as Eddie is in need of a little bit of persuasive skill. So, with me today, as Jeffrey, as ever, is Owen McAndrew. Owen, how are you doing today?
I'm good, thank you, Ben. How are you?
I'm very good. I'm beyond relieved that everything seems to be working so far.
So far.
So far. There is always room for a horrible, horrible failure. Also, joining us today is Rosie Edwards. Rosie, how are you doing?
Hello, Ben. I'm very well. Happy to be here.
Absolutely, absolutely. Rosie's playing Eamon de Valera.
That's right, yeah.
Absolutely.
Of course.
Of course, well, naturally. Typecast, if anything. Also joining us is Lottie Davis. Lottie, how are you?
Hiya, Ben. I'm good. Thrilled that I get to play my dream role.
Yes, of Michael Collins. And also Michael O'Leary of Ryanair.
Yes, thank you.
Yes, well, you're two Michaels. You're the Michaels. Joining us, Will Bynan as well.
Hello.
Hi, Will. How are you doing?
None of your business.
Fair play. And last but not least in the cast, starring as James Joyce, who actually is coming to us live from Ireland. James King. How are you doing, James?
Yeah, sorry. I'm good.
James, James, you're going to need to speak and look a little bit more clearly because I can't quite hear or see you. Well, this is all going swimmingly. In the meantime, Lauren King on stage directions. How are you, Lauren?
I'm very well, thank you. How are you?
I am similarly fine.
Great.
James Joyce. James, someone has referred to in the chat as Robo Joyce. Can you confirm? Or are you fine?
Yes, this is a cybernetic eye. I can see through walls with it.
Great. Brilliant. Well, everything seems to be working. And so I think we should just start. So, Lauren King, I'm handing it over to you now as we start today's Stream Tea and Incest.
Scene 1. Blarney Castle, Ireland. The year is 1922. A plucky young Joseph Stalin becomes captain of the Soviet Cricket Club and its associated Communist Party. Bruce Forsyth celebrates his negative 6th birthday and, never without his trusty valet Geoffrey, a slightly subdued Eddie Spangler finds himself in County Cork, queuing outside Blarney Castle.
I'm worried, Geoffrey. What if this gift of the gab thing doesn't work?
And don't worry, sir. It's been scientifically proven by priests.
I hope so. If I don't become more persuasive by next week, I'll never convince my father to raise my allowance. I wish he hadn't drunk all the persuasion potion.
And that was Ipecac, sir. And so do I.
I wish this line would bloody hurry up.
Sir, patience is a virtue, as is chastity.
But I just can't wait to fuck the Blarney Stone.
Now, kissing it would work perfectly well.
No, I have to be sure, and fucking is always 10 times more effective.
Now, that might be true in your horse girl novels, sir, but we're talking about a rock.
Yeah, a sedimentary rock.
Why do you need an allowance anyway, sir? What happened to all of your many fortunes?
Well, first off, I spent all my money on fake money.
Fake money?
Yeah, what do you call them? Deutschmarks. That didn't work out well for anyone. And I really shouldn't have bet against the Allies.
Well, so long as you keep paying my wages, I will always be here for you, sir. Unless you can't pay my wages, in which case I will instantly abandon you.
Thanks, Geoffrey. You're a good friend.
Yes, I am.
But by the way, how did we get here? I remember finding out about the stone, then nothing. Then I woke up and said, I'm worried, Geoffrey, what if this gift of the gab thing doesn't work?
Whilst crossing the border, I chloroformed you and stuffed you in a bag so as to not arouse suspicion.
Oh, fine. But what border? Are we not in England?
No, sir. And I must impress upon you how important it is not to suggest that Ireland is in any way part of the United Kingdom.
Well, why not?
They are in the midst of a civil war.
Who's fighting who?
The opposing sides are fighting each other.
I see. And who do you support?
The side where the people who've been trod on for so long rise up to overthrow their buffoonish superiors.
Right. To be honest, I didn't even realise that there were other countries than England, even the ones that I've visited.
They are interrupted by a loud cry from further up the line. There's a commotion, and people start breaking from the queue and running away.
I say, what's happening up there?
Geoffrey holds out his fist and, in the chaos, a man runs into it and is knocked down to the ground.
You there, injured man! What's going on?
Oh, you smashed my fucking nose!
Geoffrey lays his hands upon the man. He is healed.
Now, pick up your mat and walk.
I don't have a mat.
Then just tell everyone why everyone's making such a fuss.
The Blarney stone's been stolen!
Geoffrey, did he just say that the garden gnomes are bowling?
No, he said that Charlie's phones are holding.
No, I said the smarmy crone is swollen. Wait. No, the Blarney stone's been stolen!
That's much worse.
Now, get out of my way.
Why?
Yeah, good point. Hello, Farmer Murphy at your service.
Farmer Murphy, when was the stone stolen?
Just now.
And did you get a good look at the thief?
Well, I didn't see his face. He was hooded in a cloak of deepest black with a silver clasp around his neck, offset by deep purple moccasins that really brought out the colour of his custom Louis Vuitton breeches. One to watch out for next season.
Thanks, Farmer Murphy. Here's your broken nose back.
Oh, I don't know, Geoffrey. A heist? Maybe we should just forget about all this and go home.
No.
Wow, Geoffrey. I wish I was as persuasive as you. Okay, what next?
Now, we should go to the scene of the crime.
Right.
They take precisely one step forward.
That was fast.
Yes, we were at the front of the line all along.
Geoffrey and Eddie inspect the scene of the crime. Geoffrey spots a suspicious-looking small rock and pockets it.
Look, Geoffrey. Says here that the castle dates back to 1446.
Wait, that's not a sign, sir. That's James Joyce.
It is.
I like the cut of your jib, boy. What do they call you?
Yes, it is.
Eddie Spangler, eh? Good name. Strong like an ox, but also tender like a baby ox. You're a man of contradictions, aren't you?
No, I'm not.
What about him over there? Oi, Beans.
Yes?
What's your name, Beans?
Jeffrey.
Beans, eh?
yeah, he does eat a lot of beans.
Well, the name's Joyce. James Joyce. The name's James Joyce, but you can call me James.
You got it, Mr. Joyce.
You here to suss out who chapped the old Logomania pebble?
We are here to find out who stole the Blarney stone, yes.
Cracking. Well, what have you done so far?
Well, it only really just happened, so...
Yeah, well, I've set up a perimeter, done some inspecting circulation, and if I see anybody carrying a big stone, I'm going to ask them where it's from.
Wow.
Yep. This ain't my first rodeo, bub.
Sir, I think it would be best if we conducted our own investigation away from prying absolute pricks. I mean eyes.
I don't know, Geoffrey. He's already set up a perimeter. Do you come here often, Mr. Joyce? Lauren, you look a bit like James Joyce.
I sure do.
So,
Shall I pick up?
did you come here often, Mr. Joyce?
All the time, Eddie, baby. Not a day goes past. He's English now. Not a day goes past when I'm not here with that stone, snogging it, smooching it, even effing it.
Fucking?
Frenching, Eddie. French kissing. You haven't been trying to fuck the rock, have you?
No.
Good. Believe me, I've been there pretty.
He called me pretty.
Let's not lose our heads, sir. I also think you're very pretty, but we need to focus on the matter at hand.
Time to
Time
focus on the matter
on
in
the
hand.
Oh, James Joyce, you're back.
I'm back, so you can put the robotic clone of me away now.
Thank you so much, Mr. Joyce. I agree. We should focus on the matter in hand.
Let's go down to the village and see if anybody saw the perp.
They start walking.
You coming, Geoffrey?
I'm walking in front of you.
Oh, yeah.
Scene 2, Blarney Village. Eddie, Jeffrey, and James Joyce wander through an almost deserted townscape.
Wow, Jeffrey. It's like no one lives here at all.
Well, sir, this is an industrial estate.
Ah, don't put him down, Beans. He's just curious. When you hear the old stone's been carted through town, you bolt up your windows. You don't want to inhale any of that second-hand Blarney.
Any of that second-hand Blarney, you say? How do you know it's been through here?
A scent, a taste, a change in the wind.
Oh, I don't know. A scent, a taste, a change in the wind.
Yes, you said that. There's a huge furrow driven into the ground where someone has clearly dragged an enormous limestone block.
Lauren, can you
A
change
man
choice?
come-
Thank you.
A man comes running up the road, panting desperately.
Allow me, again.
Jeffrey holds out his fist and the man runs into it, knocking him to the ground. That's not how you do it. Get up, man, says James Joyce. Joyce offers a hand to the man and helps him up. He then delivers a swift kick to the balls. That's how you do it, says James Joyce.
Like this.
Eddie kicks the man repeatedly in the head until he stops making noises. You're getting there, says James Joyce. Joyce gets out some smelling salts and holds them under the man's nose, who begins to stir. Joyce then shoves the salts completely up the man's nose, and he wakes with a spluttering cough.
What's going on? Oh, hello.
It's Farmer Murphy, isn't it? From earlier.
Nope, that was a different Farmer Murphy who told you about the thief's purple moccasins and Louis Vuitton breeches. My name is Farmer Murphy.
And why in such a hurry, Murphy?
Oh, it's Sean and Michael. They're having such a tremendous argument.
We can help with that, said James Joyce.
Really, James?
Of course. Where are they?
Oh, up the road in the aerodrome. Follow the huge scar where the Blarney stone really fucked up the road.
We're on it.
Thanks. I'm glad I ran into you guys and not, say, a brick wall.
Anytime, lad, said James Joyce, who then punched Farmer Murphy unconscious. Let's go. Scene 3, Blarney Village Aerodrome. Eddie, Jeffrey, and James Joyce rush onto the aerodrome field. They see two men, Sean O'Huey and Michael O'Leary, engaged in a vicious argument. Between them lies a biplane, cut perfectly in two by the Blarney Stone's path.
You absolute ponce! You frickin' idiot!
I actually think that's quite a rude thing to say, actually. I mean, it's not my fault that, you know what I mean?
Oh God, I know these two, said James Joyce.
Really?
Well, I wouldn't say that. Let's see what they want, said James Joyce. They approach the bickering pair. Dermot! Morag!
Michael.
Sean.
Close enough. What's going on here, boys?
We started a luxury airline
Using my runway.
and my plane. Now both are ruined, but this prick won't pay for my repairs.
And this guy, well,
Yeah, this happened to me when I was younger. My dad made me smoke the whole pack of airplane.
Gentlemen, this is a simple matter of equity. Mr. O'Leary, do you lease the runway from Mr. O'Huey, or is this enterprise limited by guarantee?
You what?
Bonds? Shares? Debentures?
Dentures?
You're a bigger ponce than him.
don't mean to be rude, mate, but you're a cunt. No offense,
Jeffrey?
Sir, I...
You
Tried,
tried.
Beans, and thank you for reading in for me, mysterious voice. But let this retro-style citrus juicer blend this smoothie.
Joyce approaches the two.
Chaps, you started a luxury airline, but the old Blarney Pebble has force majeure fucked it, right?
Yes.
You're not wrong.
Yeah,
How about this then? Instead of one luxury airline, you take half of what you got and you split it, making two budget airlines instead.
Budget.
Airlines.
Yeah, Sean, you've got a smaller runway, but a smaller plane on account of it only having one wing. You charge customers for optional extras like breakfast, luggage, or an engine. Same for you, Michael.
Hey. Yeah.
I like it. you've really got the gift of the, gab.
I will call my airline Ryanair after my father, Ryan O'Leary.
And I'll call mine Aer Lingus after, dunno.
Put her there, old friend.
Yeah, bring it in.
The two embrace as if brothers. James Joyce smiles on. Eddie looks on in amazement. Geoffrey stands, tight-lipped.
Oh my God, Mr. Joyce. That was amazing. I'm so glad you're alive again.
Me too. It's good to be back, Eddie. At any time, buckaroo. Though, I'll admit, I worked up a bit of a sweat on that one.
So did I.
Been away from the Blarney stone a bit too long.
I thought it was incredible, wasn't it, Geoffrey?
Unbelievable, almost.
Almost.
Scene 4. Montage. Eddie, Geoffrey, and James Joyce worked their way across Ireland, following the trail of destruction left behind by the Blarney Stone. Joyce talked to a group who'd been cursed by Lugh, the trickster god, to dance until they died, striking a deal with Lugh so they'd only have to move half their bodies. Thus Riverdance was born. Eddie found the salmon of knowledge and, eating of its flesh, gained all the knowledge of the world. Unfortunately, he had it with the white wine sauce of ignorance, and the two cancelled each other out. And, in a rare trip to Ulster, Joyce convinced a senior member of the DUP of Republican values so effectively that his opinion stack overflowed and he became a Protestant again. Scene 5. Outside Dublin. Eddie, Geoffrey, and James Joyce are walking along the Irish M1.
That, Eddie, is where babies come from.
Wow. And to think I spent all this time not knowing what hospital maternity units are.
Sirs, could we slow down, please? My feet are sore after losing my shoes in the peat bogs.
I made you new ones out of tissue paper.
Walking seems to have immediately destroyed them.
Come on, Beans. It's only a couple more miles.
It's going to take more than a silver tongue to lick my arse, Joyce.
Well, you said it.
No, actually, I think I said something like that once, but it didn't bear out.
Hold on, sport. Who's that? Another local?
They spot a man running towards them from the distance.
I've got this one.
Eddie
No.
raises his gun.
No, Eddie. Not this time.
The man gets closer, clearly in a hurry.
Hail and well met, traveller.
The man ignores him and continues his sprint. James Joyce extends his foot and the man trips and smashes his face against the tarmac.
Oh,
I said, hail and well met, traveller.
Oh, hi.
why? It's Farmer Murphy again.
No. I'm a different Farmer Murphy from the two you met earlier in different parts of the country that I'd have no idea about.
What are you running away from? Is that where all the cult cheese is?
It's the professional government and the anti-treatyist. Collins and De Valera are facing each other down in Dublin Town Square.
Oh yes, the Civil War. I thought that was over.
No, you just forgot about it.
What else?
Well, they got a huge rock that they're fighting over.
The Blarney Stone!
Yeah, sure.
Thank God!
We must to Dublin right now. Go. I'll take Collins, you take the other one. I'll pin him down while you yell at the other to stop.
You coming, Murphy?
Nah, I'm alright.
Oh. You sure? That usually works.
Yeah.
Oh, all right then. Come on, James.
Which direction?
River Run. Past Eve and Adams.
Right behind you. Oh, Geoffrey.
Geoffrey stands silently, watching them.
Sorry, Geoffrey, I completely forgot. Are you...
No. Sir? It's okay. Go on. You can do it.
Eddie gives him a nod and he runs off with James Joyce.
Well, that's gratitude for you. Didn't even say goodbye.
No, he didn't.
Look at him. You know, he thinks more of the Blarney Stone than he does of you.
Oh, that's as it should be.
Well, don't you care?
Practically perfect people never permit sentiment to muddle their thinking.
Is that so? Well, I'll tell you one thing, Geoffrey, if that is your real name. You don't fool me a bit.
Oh, really?
Yeah, really. I know exactly how you feel about that Mr. Swanger. And if you think I'm going to keep my mouth shut,
Geoffrey watches Eddie and James Joyce turn into specks on the horizon, then takes out his umbrella, puts it up, and a new wind coming from the west picks him up and carries him into the clouds.
Now that one hurt.
Scene 6, Dublin Town Square. Eddie and Joyce arrive in central Dublin. Sandbag barricades have been erected in the main square, behind which 2 armies sit. In the middle lies, upright, an enormous limestone slab. The opposing leaders, Michael Collins and Eamon de Valera, shout at each other through megaphones.
Put down your arms.
No! You put down your arms.
No! God, war is hell.
What do we do, Mr. Joyce? Mr. Joyce, you might want to speak up.
Excuse me. Bit of Blarney caught in me mouth. It's a classic Mexican-Irish standoff, Eddie. I'll sort them out using my well-honed skills of persuasion.
Yeah!
Hey, hardy men, why don't you both put down your arms?
Eamon de Valera shoots James Joyce.
Ah!
Put down your arms.
No!
Mr. Joyce! Mr. Joyce!
Why, that smarts!
Why didn't it work?
Oh, I've been away from my precious Blarney stone too long. Damn! You don't have any persuasion juice on you?
Fresh out of Ipecac?
Any Blarney gravel in your pockets you can rub into my gums?
No.
Any crystal Blarney? Blarney dust? LSB?
The bullet? What?
It's fine. Oh, my trusty pocket Bible stopped the bullet.
Thank God.
Unfortunately, I'd cut it out to fit it into a hip flask, and the fumes from that are making me awfully drowsy. Ugh.
James Joyce slumps unconscious on the floor.
I can't do it, Mr. Joyce. I don't have your powers or the connection that you had to the people that you convinced. Wait. Connection? You engaged with them. You listened to them. And that's what let you persuade them to do things. Does this mean that you don't just win oratory powers by snogging a magical boulder? That it comes from within? That anyone, including myself, could talk persuasively if they just believed in themselves? I don't need to fuck the stone, let alone kiss it.
Eddie stands up triumphantly.
I need to eat it.
Eddie starts tearing into the giant limestone slab in the middle of the square. Chunks fly off in every direction as he swallows hundreds of kilos of unprocessed sedimentary rock. As he finishes up, Eamon de Valera and Michael Collins look on in awe.
I've never seen such a thing.
This man, so confident, eating that stone so persuasively.
Say, how about we put all of this civil war nonsense aside and work out a compromise?
You're all right. This Anglo-Irish treaty malarkey, how about we just agree to the Anglo bits and not the Irish bits?
How about the Irish bits and not the Anglo bits?
It's a deal.
The 2 men shake hands and all the soldiers start cheering. Eddie looks up from his rocky meal, his teeth shattered. A familiar hand passes him a pair of false teeth.
Sir, you might be needing these debentures.
Geoffrey! Boy, am I glad to see you. Where did you go?
I was kidnapped by parachuting loyalists, sir. They pulled me up into the clouds and I had to fight for my very life.
James Joyce begins to stir.
Oh, my head.
Oh, Mr. Joyce, so good to see you. Did you manage to talk them out of it?
No, not this time.
Oh.
He spots the ruined stone.
You've destroyed the Blarney stone! My precious Blarney stone, you fools!
He runs over to the rubble and starts kissing the detritus.
Actually, sirs, that's not the Blarney stone.
What?
Yes, you just ate a different, totally ordinary, huge rock.
Joyce grasps Geoffrey's collar.
Where is it? Where's the Blarney stone? Where?
Geoffrey brushes him off.
I spotted it on my aerial descent. In retrospect, I believe that the National Trust took it in for a quick clean. It's right here.
Jeffrey stands aside, revealing in all its glory the real Blarney stone.
Get out of the way!
He rushes over and starts kissing it.
My Blarney stone. My wonderful Blarney stone. My precious.
It's okay, Jeffrey, because I've realised that the real powers of persuasion come from within.
No, sir, that was just a fluke just then. The Blarney Stone's powers are real and limitless.
James Joyce is still kissing the stone.
I don't understand. I don't feel anything. Why don't I feel anything?
Do you remember, sir, that I pocketed a suspicious-looking rock at the beginning in the stage directions?
Barely, if I'm honest.
Well, I did. The small piece of the Blarney Stone that fell off in transit. The stone's full power won't be released until every part is returned.
Put it back! Put it back!
Not yet. It's quite obvious to me that the stone has so much Blarney in it that it's dangerous and must be destroyed.
No! Please. I need it. I'd never have written the book without it.
James Joyce cowers at Jeffrey's feet.
Look, sir, what the Blarney Stone has done to your hero, James Joyce. It has consumed him utterly, rendering him a blubbering idiot.
Oh, yeah. Can I shatter it with my axe?
I'm afraid the Blarney Stone was made in the fires of the volcano beneath the Giant's Causeway, and only there can it be unmade.
No, please. I beg of you. My precious.
Come, sir, we can make it by nightfall.
Right.
Scene 7, the Giant's Causeway. Eddie and Jeffrey make haste across the basalt columns forming the causeway. Behind them, at some distance, a broken, desperate James Joyce scrambles over the rocks.
Sir, hurry! Follow me!
Jeffrey directs Eddie to a hole between the rocks, leading deep underneath the causeway into the mouth of the volcano.
Take it, sir.
Eddie grabs the Blarney Stone and runs ahead of Jeffrey. Jeffrey flinches against the fierce heat blasting down the tunnel and reaches the end. Eddie is standing on the edge of a deep, lava-filled chasm. The raging orange glare from beneath turns Eddie into a black silhouette standing tense and still. He holds the Blarney Stone in his arms. He raises it, holding it over the bubbling lava far below. He pauses.
Cast it into the fire! Destroy it!
Eddie looks on, captivated by the Blarney Stone.
No.
Eddie!
Suddenly, James Joyce smashes a rock down on Jeffrey's head, knocking him to the ground. Joyce leaps on Eddie's back and lifts up his hand and bites hard. Eddie drops to his knees, clutching his bleeding hand. He screams. James Joyce triumphantly holds the Blarney Stone aloft, ecstatic. He dances gleefully, perilously close to the edge of the chasm, the fiery lava casting an evil light.
Precious! Precious!
Eddie rises slowly. His eyes lock on Joyce. Time seems to stand still as each regards the other. The Blarney Stone glints in Joyce's arms. Beautiful, powerful, evil. Suddenly, Eddie lunges at Joyce, thudding into him, lifting him off his feet. Joyce falls into the fiery pit and is engulfed in the churning lava. The Blarney Stone sits on the river of magma for a brief moment, then sinks away. Scene 8, Eddie's London flat.
Well, that was fun.
Ah, your tea, sir.
Thanks, Jeffrey. A shame that Blarney business never worked out in the end, but at least I got my dad's cash.
You were very persuasive, sir.
So was my blackmail portfolio. And now the Civil War's been sorted out.
Actually, sir, you were too persuasive, and the Irish were able to negotiate more than was ever actually in play. We now technically live in Londonderry, London.
Well, it's all Greek to me.
Irish.
Oh, yes, very good, Jeffrey. Oh, that reminds me. What's his name? The chap.
James Joyce.
Yes, him. He asked to see some of my writing.
Eddie produces a book.
A collection of my thoughts, musings, anecdotes. Called it Ulysses. Pass it on, will you?
Oh, I will, sir.
Good. Whatever happened to him, anyway?
Well, that doesn't really matter, sir, because I have his passport, bank account details, and his mother's maiden name right here.
Oh, jolly good. Well, I'm off to pass this enormous stone I swallowed. See you in a few hours.
Take care, sir.
Thanks, Jeffrey. Oh, you might want to turn the radio up for this. I'm going to be screaming.
Right you are, sir.
Eddie leaves, newspaper under arm. Jeffrey produces a small, suspicious-looking rock from his pocket. It sparkles. He smiles. He slips it back in his pocket. Jeffrey turns on the radio.
It was on a Dublin street with James Joyce now obsolete. Eddie Spangler over it's a giant limestone rock. Jeffrey from the air descends and with Spangler makes amends. Then they take the Blarney stone to the causeway. Oh, come out and fuck the rock. Come out, don't do it in a sock. Grab it by the sides and thrust in time repeatedly. And when you're good and done, you'll be the king of coercion. Just make sure you wipe it down before the next guy tries. With Blarney stone in hand, Eddie Spangler takes a stand against Jeffrey's cold demands to throw it loverwise. James Joyce jumps out and in one bites off Eddie Spangler's thumb, but then falls down to his doom inside the causeway. Oh, come out and fuck the rock. It is mostly hard and chalk. Grab it by the sides and thrust in time repeatedly. And when you're good and done, you'll be the king of coercion. Just like Jeffrey is, now he has got the final piece. Come out and fuck the rock. It is mostly hard and chalk. Grab it by the sides and thrust in time repeatedly. And when you're good and done, you'll be the king of coercion. Just like Jeffrey is, now he has got the final piece.
All right, we did it. Hooray! Well done. That's the end. Thank you so much for streaming in. God, that is a 90-second long, exhausting fake river dance there. Thank you.
I was doing it for real.
Yeah, you didn't know. You don't know at home. You don't know. Thank you all so much. Joining me, Benjamin Alborough, has been Owen McAndrew as Jeffrey, Will Bynan as Father Murphy, who was actually Cillian Murphy's granddad, but it was never mentioned or referenced in the show.
I did so much research.
Yeah, it's great. Lottie Davis as Michael Collins and Michael O'Leary, Rosie Edwards as Eamon de Valera and Shauna Hui, and James King as both James Joyce and robotic James Joyce. And then on stage directions today was Lauren King, also our fab producer. Thank you so much all for tuning in. Take care. Next week, Eddie and Jeffrey go to 1929 Chicago. Eddie falls in love with a cabaret singer called Crystal Pepsi, and he gets embroiled in the St. Valentine's Day massacre. So that's us. That's it from us tonight. See you all next week. Take care, stay safe, and see you around. Bye-bye.